Or it looked like he had it on.
Thank you, Terry.
I'll provide this to you too.
He said it's live. So,
It is live?
yep.
Okay.
I don't know if there's a time difference between YouTube and when we start our meeting.
Yeah.
They're saying it's live.
They're saying it's on.
Yep.
Thank
it's
you,
on.
Terry.
All right, let's resume. Where were we at? Oh, are we all set then?
Yeah.
Everybody clear on the, okay? All right, then moving on for approval of the agenda, as printed. I'll entertain a motion.
I had a question, just only because I didn't see something on the agenda was a follow-up to the poverty exemption. We had a couple questions from the last meeting that were not on there, but if I can ask them in miscellaneous business instead, that's perfectly fine.
I wasn't here, I'm not.
I'm
sure
drawing a
what
blank on,
what the questions were.
I can ask them right now. I mean, we had discussed getting the message out on posting it for the poverty exemption notice on the email or on the website. And then we talked about emailing all of the subscribers to the Tyrone Township email to get a notice out of the poverty exemption program.
Well, my understanding, there is a requirement of law, and whatever those requirements are is what Alexa does. And I know there's I don't know if it's in the paper. I can check on that and email you tomorrow what it is. But there's requirements that we have to do
Oh, of course, yeah, Alexa she came up and shared
by
what
law. And whatever
Right.
she's required to do is what she goes by.
Right, and I was,
You're
well,
just
I don't want to
asking in
repeat.
addition?
In addition to that, we had a discussion about reaching out to the community more and leveraging our email capability and our website so that, since there was such a low amount of people taking advantage of it, and the times are tough from an economy perspective.
Well, I know it's
Yeah.
in.
I didn't mean to discuss it, bring it a major discussion right now, I was not seeing any responses to that, but we can
You
either
wanna put
address it
under
miscellaneous
Yeah,
or
we can-
citizen and we
something.
just-
we'll discuss that.
Okay.
And then we'll get something going on that.
Okay, great, thank you.
I slipped through the cracks.
That's all right, that's all
All
right.
right. So again, motion for the agenda, approval of the agenda as printed.
So moved.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Communications, Chuck, I would just like to clarify a few things.
To do approval of consent agenda.
Oh, I skipped it, didn't I?
Yep.
Sorry. Approval of the consent agenda, regular board minute.
Minutes from January.
Yep, from January 21st, 2025. Everybody okay with those
And the clerk's warrant, you gotta do both of them.
together? All right, clerks, warrants, and bills. Everybody good with both of those?
Yep. I make a motion to approve and place on file.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, and then moving into the communications. Chuck, I just wanted to clarify 3 items, one regarding the agenda, and the township is legally obligated to post that agenda, correct?
Yes,
And how we post it is proper?
complies with the law.
Yeah. Regarding the board packets, is that something the township has to do, or is that something we do as a courtesy?
That's something you do as a courtesy.
Okay. And then the last item is the recording of the meeting itself. Is that something required by law, or is that something we provide as a courtesy as well?
That's something you also provide as a courtesy, however, because it's on YouTube or whatever, it's always there.
Yeah, Yeah. So the live stream, as long as it's working, it'll be there, recorded. Okay, that was just for clarification for myself, the board, and the residents, and the video audience. So, moving on to, unless anybody else has any comments, are we good? All right, public remarks.
Scott Dietrich, White Lake Road. Medical insurance policy comparisons. I'm all for medical and stuff like that, but I would like to, as a citizen, have some kind of a open forum or a meeting where I'd like to really have people go over and see what's out there and see what we're looking at for medical insurance. So we can get some heads together and see how efficient this office is. We've talked about that vast, and if there's anything we can do to make sure, I think they should have, I'm not saying they shouldn't have medical insurance. I always thought Aflac wasn't a good thing because you gotta be off so long before you get it anyway. And I would think that money would be better spent to just give them better coverage. Historical Society, Pioneer Day, that's a good thing. This litigation with, and you mentioned the name Anderson's, I know there was a lot of stuff gone out, and Pam was attacked, and I've still got, I went and got the information. But on the other hand, Greg was right, Chris was right. We've always asked for more transparency. So when I come to the meeting and I got a chance to speak, I know what these issues are coming up, and I might have a comment on them. So that would be nice if they were a little bit more transparent. But for Pam to be attacked, I mean, I just think that's kind of wrong, because, you know, she didn't do nothing wrong. So just a little more transparency, I think, that's all we're asking. Other than that, you know, let's try to get this stuff done.
All right, thank you, Scott.
I'd like to say something.
Please.
I appreciate that, Scott, because some people are confused on the clerk's role in terms of the agenda for the Planning Commission. I'm not involved with the Planning Commission. I have no control over the Planning Commission. I am just the messenger. When the Planning Commission has their stuff together, Ross emails it to the clerk's department. We send it out. I have no rules on it because it's not my department. I have nothing to do with that. So I appreciate you recognizing that and thanking me. Thanks.
So everyone knows who she's talking about. I should be able to respond. We know darn well who she's talking about.
It's not a
Jeanette,
Q&A.
it's okay, it's not a question.
Yeah.
Scott, thank you, sincere thank you for, yes.
Jeanette, do you want to work the microphone for me again?
I don't know, is it working?
It's on. It's on. You want to check it out? Sure. Okay. It should be.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It is. How long do I get?
3 minutes.
3 minutes? Okay.
Yeah.
Stephanie Booth. My husband and I own property on Tipsco Lake and Germany Road. Little update from WHMI. Livingston County Drain Commission reports a sanitary sewer overflow occurred in the Fenton area Saturday afternoon. According to a release, the overflow occurred between 1:30 and 4:30 p.m. at the intersection of Nymphy and Hogan Roads and ran across both Hogan Road and Old US 23 into the ditches. Tyrone Township Supervisor, Livingston County Health Department, and Eagle were notified. The sewer overflow was the result of a pipe failure with an estimated discharge of 20,000 gallons, and it gives numbers to contact. So that was worth noting because those roads are both brought up at the Planning Commission meetings. So I definitely think it's worth noting. Also, the Livingston Post has a recent article about not the commissioner here for this township. However, he is in a big dispute with the drain commissioner. Maybe they all are, I don't know, but you ought, it's worth your while to note that there is a big deal going on, a lot of dispute at a higher level for the county with the Drain Commission, and essentially county commissioners. So it's worth your while to know it. I find it a little bit weird and somewhat inappropriate. Maybe I'm wrong, but like, why are you, like, last time I was here, you said there was only one person that brought up tax hardship or applying for that. What's the big concern with trying to push for this? Isn't that a good thing that people are paying their taxes? Why are you pandering to people that, you know, hey, guess what, you can get out of it? Like, don't we need taxes for our roads and such? So I find that a little awkward and interesting, and I think it's an area, for me anyway, of concern. So I'll get that out of the way. I don't know what her role is, but I find her an interruption, and I feel it's wrong that she should be interrupting public speakers. I've watched many of the videos, and I think it's highly inappropriate. That being said, like I said, keep an eye on the things going on at a higher level. The timing of this pipe, this drainage, I really think it's worth your while to check it out. You know, we're taxpayers, we deserve good representation. That's all I'm going to say for now. Thank you.
Thank you. Stephanie?
Thank you. I'll leave the clerk with the article.
Thank you.
All right, anybody else? Jeanette?
Thanks. Jeanette Ropetta, Tyrone Township resident. I love when people show up to a couple of meetings, never been here, and they're going to call me out for my actions when they have no idea what I've dealt with the previous board, calling me a liar, yelling at me, making faces at me, rolling their eyes, et cetera, et cetera. So, hey, somebody else can get up and talk about me, I can defend myself.
All right. Let's stay to the agenda. Stay to the agenda, please. So,
But you just didn't make everybody else stay
Okay.
to the agenda.
Yeah.
Okay, so also someone else talk, okay, that's fine, I'll sit down. The rules are not for everyone. Pam gets to talk from her position of power,
Yeah.
everybody knows who she's talking about.
Is there anybody else? Yeah, Kurt?
Kurt Schultz. I'm Silver Lake Estates number 2. And I'd like to address the closed meeting that the board is going to go into. First of all, I want to thank the board for those people who voted for censure on people. That took a lot of effort, and it also was there was a lot of pressure applied. So you did the right thing, just so you know that. I guess the thing that I'm taking a look at is we're being sued by a board member, 2 board members. Now, that's really fiscally responsible. That's how we're going to have to pay for a lawsuit that is filed against us. Your jobs here are risk management, and you are not a risk manager. You are causing the risk here. And when you get into a power grab like has gone on here, where you try to pressure people off of the Planning Commission, and you send a letter as board members indicating that it had come from the board.
Kurt, this is not on the agenda. What?
Aren't you going to go into a closed session on it?
No, we're going into a closed session for the Anderson Tyrone Township.
But we didn't announce
Okay.
what it was.
Well, I
Just
will
says-
right now. That we're not going into that closed session for that.
Okay.
So,
So I'll Pass
The
then.
second.
Thank you. Is there anybody else? Yeah, Bill?
So my concern is the sewer drainage that happened. That water flows directly into my lake. I want to know what's being done about it, or if it was contained, or is it part of the lake now?
Can you call me tomorrow?
Yeah,
Call me and I'll give you the right people to talk to.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to be at a meeting Thursday morning with that whole group, but I do not have a report from the health department yet. I know that the pipe has been fixed and that they have done something to the pump station to mitigate some of the odors, but I do not know all the details. Jennifer was working with Frank to try to get him here tonight to explain the details, but he had a previous commitment because of the short notice. So hopefully he'll be here at our next board meeting to give you more details. In the meantime, her and I are still trying to bring it all together.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Bill?
Yep.
Yep. Anybody else? Yeah, Dave?
Good evening. I'm in a little bit late, I apologize for that. I was supposed to meet Ms. Cromanti from EMS here this evening. She was going to make a presentation on behalf of EMS.
Actually, she is, we are meeting with her tomorrow.
Oh, it's...
Yeah, her and her associate, yes. We're going to go over that whole, and then we'll have it for the board at the next meeting.
That would be good. Listen, I'm here to wish you all good luck in this new endeavor. You know, this county government and local government at the township level, sometimes a very challenging occupation, so to speak, and it doesn't always run smoothly, but I think with the effort that you're putting forth, you'll be rewarded with your own success.
All
And
right.
if at any time I can be of any help to you, please don't hesitate to contact me.
All right,
Good luck.
thanks, Dave.
Good evening. Yeah.
I know that wasn't on the agenda, but he's our commissioner. All right. Unfinished business. I would just like to make a short statement in regards to the Hogan Road. We talked about it at the last board meeting, putting together a study. We had, Gerald Fisher had extensive comment, and tomorrow him and McKenna, our planner, and myself and Ross are meeting to move that forward and try to get some kind of a study spec together, so people aren't just wandering all over and there. We get them focused. That's it for unfinished business, I think. Somebody else has something?
No, I was just going to say, based on the comment about the sewage break, we should add to that list when talking to Fisher and McKenna to look at the engineering of the road and whether the truck traffic had a direct impact on that sewage line breaking. Sorry, that was just a note I just took
Yeah.
based on that. So.
That's a good point. All right, thanks, Chris. All right, so I'll move into new business, and item 1 on the agenda, the employee medical insurance policy and comparisons. Assuming you've all had a chance to look at that.
So I'd like to speak on that for a minute here to get our figures straightened out.
Sure, please.
So What's in our package here for this rate renewal and the change in that first column?
I apologize.
Your 3 minutes
Your
is
3
up.
minutes up. Whoops, we're done. So in the left-hand column, you'll see the total annual premium was $128,455.32. So that number is not accurate. And the total billable members at the top where it says 10, that is not accurate. That was accurate for December, January, February, and March. However, we had another employee that was on the policy for January all the way through November. And we were paying $1,682.23 per month, in addition to that $10,704.61 right here. So that equals $12,386.84 that we were paying for that. And our grand total for a year would be $148,642.08. So our actual increase was actually $4,094 between this cost here in the left column and the right-hand cost. So those numbers don't really reflect what truly happened due to us having an employee removed from the policy.
They just have quoted what we are paying rate at this moment.
What we're currently paying, right, which has only been for December and January. So it brings that total
What's the new number then?
difference.
Is that 9 then and not 10?
No, it's actually, we had 11 employees before, and now we currently have 10. But in the left-hand column, they had put 10 because that's what we're currently at for December, January, February, and March.
Under billable members.
But we actually had
Only
11
9.
employees for January all the way through November.
So, I mean, are you going to restate these numbers then with or is there a restatement of these numbers that, other than just verbalizing them?
No, I mean, I contacted the company, Blue Cross and Blue Shield,
Okay.
at first to confirm that it was what I suspected. And that's exactly what happened. I have the invoices, copies of the invoices
Oh,
that
sure.
we have paid, and that to confirm all of this. But I don't put it out in the numbers.
No, I'm not arguing about the additional employee or anything like that. I'm talking about, it sounds like maybe these renewal numbers are different than stated?
No, it
or-
actually, right here in the right-hand column, that 146,008.08, that is accurate.
That's the
That
accurate,
is what it's going to
okay.
cost.
I just wanted to make
It's
sure
just
that
The left column was,
the changes weren't,
Yeah.
okay, that's all I was saying, is if
Yeah.
anything needed to be
Right.
restated based on
Oh,
those,
okay,
those
yeah.
numbers in the right column, or
No,
if that's the correct number
No, I just
for the
wanted to
10.
clarify for
Okay.
everyone, because it looks like when you look at that 128, and then you go over and see
146,
146, you're like, whoa, that's a $20,000 increase.
Right.
And so I just wanted to clarify what had actually happened, and that isn't the true increase. The true increase is actually $4,094.
Okay, thanks.
in viewing both of these, I see that they're both the same renewal cost. But the second one has a larger cost to the employee, as in co-payments. Does everyone see the same thing? So I make a motion to approve.
I have one other question,
Sure.
I apologize.
Go ahead. No,
Or
it's
we
fine.
can motion and whatnot, but I still have a couple questions.
No, go ahead.
Um,
Ask your question.
Is there any portion of these medical plans, or the medical plan that's paid by the employee?
No,
Okay, so it's 100%
100%.
funded by the,
Yep. Yep.
okay. In the second one I saw, on page 7 of the Acrisure presentation, pardon me? The
Yeah,
Did I get that right? It's that, based on the current one, the numbers lined up on page 7 of that quote Is they're also quoting, it looks like the same amount from a dollar value perspective in the renewal section, the second column.
Right.
But is there a difference between those plans that you know of? Between the current, all the numbers look the same, the only one that looked different was the title that showed that the renewal, the increase was including elective abortions, with elective abortion in the title, but I don't know what that means.
Well, I think the current and the renewal and on that plan are the same, other than the totals going up. The amount of money and the co-payments versus what we have right now.
Okay, because the plan titles were different. I just didn't know if the increase was due to adding elective abortions from the title,
No.
which I'm not in favor of a government paying for that, but I think that would be an important element.
Yeah,
Not
no,
even on business. This is the woman that says I should be out. Wow.
Come on.
okay, I make a motion to approve Blue Cross Blue Shield.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? All right.
Historical Society.
Yep. Moving on to new business number 2, the Historical Society requests to use the Township Hall and the property for the Pioneer Day.
So this will be their third one.
Yeah?
They utilize our property, there haven't been any issues in the past, and they do hold a policy through Heartland Insurance Company for the event, that they're carrying the liability rather than the township carrying the liability.
For that event.
Yes.
Yep, 2 days.
And that's a 2-day event.
Well, they set up Friday, I think,
Right.
or one day.
I don't know
and the
if
next day.
Yeah.
any of you have been to that, but it's pretty fun. I've been there a couple times. So, and it helps bring some semblance of community for our township, which is nice.
So it'll be a Saturday and a Sunday
Correct.
event. No, I take that back.
It's just Saturday the
Saturday.
19th.
Saturday and then tear down, okay. Saturday.
And what's those dates?
July
19th
19th.
and 18th. 18th is the setup, then the event is on the 19th,
So
and then they'll tear down
So
on the
it's-
19th.
July 19th.
18th.
All right.
18th and 19th, Friday and Saturday.
And we didn't have anything on the calendar previously.
There's
Okay.
nothing going on.
Great. All right.
Make a motion to approve.
Second? Do I have a
Support.
second? All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? All right. Item number 3 is the closed session, and I would like to move that the Township Board enter closed session to discuss possible settlement strategies regarding the Anderson versus Tyrone Township lawsuit in Livingston County Circuit Court.
Public comment time?
I have a question, yeah. Do we do public comment before or after?
Nope.
After.
After.
Never used to be that way.
It's going to be short. All right?
Yep.
You got a
Someone needs to
second?
make it.
Oh, yeah.
Vote.
You made the resolution, Greg?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Jennifer, second?
All in favor?
Well, we have to do a roll call.
Roll call, it's
Oh, roll call.
resolution.
Yep, yep. Herm Ferguson,
Yes.
Greg Carnes,
Yes.
Jennifer Eden,
Yes.
Sarah Dolman Jersey,
Yes.
Chris Repetta,
Yes.
Dean Haas is not here, Pam Moffler, yes.
Okay, enter closed
So
session,
it is
7:35.
7:35. Right, and then when we return, we'll cover miscellaneous business and public remarks.
He's not doing business special, he's doing it by email. If you guys don't get back email, I'm sure he would love to. Well, I don't know right now because of this.
It's not so like.
I thought you were saying something.
Yep. Yep, counts for the fifth. So we have. And then they put this on the fishing. And next year we're going to gas.
There's two hands.
So, on something, but natural gas,
Yeah. Yeah, so you,
wow. Yes. You had a starter from it. The only question is where it started. Ours has been there since 1965.
And I keep going around, so one of these days I'm gonna retire, this year, just the whole thing. She says, yeah, I think about it, so that's warm, winter, maybe in fall. Going forward, yeah, I know everything that's gotten done. Yeah, and just, in 1965, it just, not thinned out shopping center. Because a lot of the houses, taking everything out, doing the cabinet analysis. Yeah, yeah, that was one of the first guys. It's something you don't see it. Yeah. I found out where the squirrels because they put a coal in it, just lost it. And it's what they come out, pneumonia. Yeah. They made their holes, it's got leak. It's cool or something. That's the and then wonder why it's bad. I figure it's just down security for the guests. You know what? Somebody's got it. Somebody's got it. Yet to be named, shall be nameless. And it's one of those things, she met a boy. He got a job down there, and they say, you know, I understand the boy can pursue better. That's one of the key little closer to the heart. But they both work for systems. So they start out with one, smaller house, they are just so it's in Middletown. And Middletown is halfway between Dayton and Cincinnati. So yeah, it's about 3 hours and 45 minutes. I've already done the Google. It's like, you can make it down to 3:45. No problem, door to door, we'll be there. Yep. And you make it 67 as soon as you hit the line. license plate. Calibrate. Yep. Since I was in my people preliminary, Columbus, actually she never said Columbus. There's just a dark cloud that hangs over. It says, you know, solar panels. Yes. Since the 60s, say about hashtag, and yeah, and when you say it's most strongly logical, you're gonna flame. You know, I mean, because you drive down the street and you smell the neighborhoods. The mall, we don't go there because you so much which means you know, and the line is not nice to begin with. And they're losing their basic stability. Not no surprise. Yep. Yeah, they used to be on the stars. There used to be on the stars of our pieces. Yeah, I used to have it. It's like, when we were wearing suits, I would go there. And I would tell him, if we should score it. He says, no, we find out we sell more with the wives than ever. And yeah, we started comparing receipts and my wife was really, yeah, I think there's something in the pan. Yes, it's been interesting. Where's your check? It's all I can say. I've never shut down the customer. Okay, and be sure with the hospital. That's crazy. Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. You're wasting money. And you only get back a handful of meals will do the same size. Yeah. Money day. Yeah. Well, they all do. They're all.
Well, they're trying to get away from greenhouse. You see the storms we have? We gotta do something. But I mean, what do we do? What do we do? As soon as someone comes in there from the 11th, he's already in that. He's already in the car. Yeah, now he's got all the money. As soon as someone greases his palms, he turns and goes the other way. That's what all these politicians are. No, I don't. I don't like it, and I just don't like it. There's some things I agree with them on. Listen, when it comes to the borders, listen, I mean, but you don't divide. It's not happening. This is too much. We're not gonna get anywhere if we don't, we don't just. You retired in the wintertime, when he's in a bit of a job. I don't like being on high school. Well, yeah, he is, pretty much. You want to take this as damn rough? Let me see what they're working Friday. I'm ready. Where do you think they're going to go? They're going to come down White Lake Road? It's Tyrone Township. Tyrone Township's right across the road. All those houses, all those people over there, screaming, they get a lot. They work out. The problem is our roads are going to get totally. PowerPoints and stuff. That's why I got my engineering degree. I did. There's something I'm trying to figure out. I already went to see if they told us we're more time as we're students because we're time to do this. They overpower, they overvote. We can vote, but they overvote. Well, I would too. That's what they tell you. You get a discount. What I'm trying to say is that's what they offer. A discount on the class. I've been in Tyrone Township since 1987. And I've been paying that since 87. Well, you're talking thousands and thousands of dollars. Probably tens of thousands of dollars. Yep. I understand. Before my move is about it. So, you guys really good reason to have your kids. I don't understand why there's hardly any houses on Linden. And all the houses on Center Road, they're way off the road. They can move, maybe get the truck. It's nice to see you guys. They got to I know Bentley, over on Bentley, they have them, but I don't know if they were. I'm going to ask Congress, ask public comment, yes.
Trying to find it for a long time and nobody's. It's a business.
My wife Barb, she's one that's retired.
The problem is,
She's trying to find a new stuff.
when you like to route the streets and road and everything else.
The small townships.
Yeah, ask Dave. No, Dave, go. Ask a couple of questions. Rail issue, he knows that's.
Okay. Ah, okay. That I knew when I bought him, was handed out. 500 at a time. So actually, that just helps me reduce inventory. Excited. Your husband is.
Also, it's the highest package. Yes, you guys got a lot of vacancies up there. Mike and before they start blowing up. I got time, I'm gonna get it covered. Probably not all of them. He says we'll get therapy, so I'll go through summer, September, I should do something. That's why they changed it. What do you
Oh, yeah, that's right. Because of the sewer. Yeah, it's all just laying in the.
I can understand that. I'll take that up to, that is, yeah, Steve, Steve was there, so you have to understand, we're still, perhaps it might be.
Oh, we lost Herman again. Oh, gosh. Oh, no.
Surprise.
Oh. Someone's gotta keep an eye on him.
I try. He's fast. He disappears quickly. Forget we were going back.
We lost him twice. This was the second time.
Get your coat. Nope, you got it on.
Clearly, he stopped off for a moment. Poor Herman. Poor Herman. Process with these minutes is, so I take them and I always type them out and you have to sign them at the next meeting. And I have to sign them in envelope. And so they were running with me for 1 year and 1 day. Then after that, I present. But,
Did Herman leave?
what's up?
Did Herman leave?
No, I think you made a stop.
Most of us are back.
Do I need to get a vote on the closed session?
No.
I just closed it.
Where's the commissioners?
But we're just waiting on Herman to get up here.
We lost you, man.
Oh, okay. Too much information. Too much information.
Just making a statement.
All right. Are we all set?
Yep.
All right, I would like to close the closed session, and we will
Move into this.
move straight into miscellaneous business.
We don't have any? Do we?
No.
Any more miscellaneous? No.
Just those two items that
Oh,
I brought up at the
yeah,
beginning.
the notice on the poverty exemption.
Poverty exemption.
Right.
And then the MailChimp licenses, if we found out the cost of those, so that we could leverage that as well to possibly notify the residents of this program.
Yep. I got a note for that, so.
So we will.
All right, I guess we'll move straight into the final public remarks. Yes, Scott?
My comment earlier wasn't to call anybody out. My comment was to point out that it's happened in the past when we had the asphalt plant. Some things were said, they weren't right, and then things, it just blew out, and went out of control. So, and I think the social media part's great, okay? So we get some communication between the board, maybe sometimes. Sometimes you guys get some information from us more on that. But I made a comment, and all I said was, I don't think this is completely right, the comment that was posted. That's all I said. And I didn't want to add to it, because I wanted the people up here to explain it to them, not me. It's not my place to explain it. And I didn't want to add fuel to the fire. So I wasn't trying to make a fight with anybody. I just knew from my discussions that it wasn't completely correct, okay? So, and I know there's another video out, and I know Pam's name was on it, and I'm not gonna say nothing to be mean, but this sewer thing, we gotta find out what the problem was. It goes back to when Mike was in the office. And so it's gone back. People have notified the county that we had a problem there. Okay, we know that. So let's get on it, let's investigate it, let's get it fixed. So in the future, and I know, Greg, Chris, you gotta realize that when things are said, I mean, I've done it in the past, and I apologize for it, and I've called myself on, is you guys are working together. You're in a different position than I am. You're working with these people. So if it comes out, you know, it rubs their feathers, and it's just like you're mad, they're mad, and there's just a lot of animosity. We're not getting nothing done. You know, it's just, we gotta watch, probably in the future, and it's all stemmed back from the asphalt plant. This township's been on fire since then, and it's like a burning and burning and burning. And I'm gonna say this again, and it's gonna come up the next meeting, is I don't like the fact what's going on. And I'm not gonna accept what happened. Okay, and I think you guys need to come forward and take responsibility. So I will tell you that, and not sue the township. You're suing the people. So I'll leave that one alone. Now, when it comes to this issue you guys just went into moving about, I've split property. I sold real estate. all of our lakes are out here, are all developed, okay? We've had people for years coming out here, buying these little cottages or smaller homes and want to make castles out of them. Well, I'm under the understanding in my brain is you buy that house, there's an established sightlines, okay? And they want to come in and reestablish their sightlines, okay? And that's a tricky situation because they're already established by the existing homes. So legally, I don't know, Chuck, where you come out with that, but I think that's a pretty good guideline of how we should handle sightlines.
Okay.
The establishment, they've already been established. In the future, maybe we can work on it a little better in our stuff. So.
All right, thanks, Scott. All right, sure.
Kevin Pierce, Hogan Road. I think when you guys have your meeting, I really believe that you need to go to Deerfield Township and get the special land use permit on the existing gravel pit. There's a lot of things that he's doing that's not according to his special land use permits. And the problem with that is call them an ordinance, call them whatever you want to, there's nobody to enforce them. So the road started out as 39 trucks a day, and it's evolved to 150 trucks a day legally. Some days there are more, some days less. But coating Hogan Road with gallons and gallons of calcium chloride every week is not a way to get rid of the problem. The problem is people have to shovel dust off their porches. It's not safe. They've taken a 25-mile-an-hour zone, increased it to 55 miles an hour. There's no enforcements from the sheriffs. So I think it's going to be pretty valid for you to pick up that special land use permit to get there, because if you have a meeting with someone that knows all the rules, you're going to walk away just like you walked in there. He's going to tell you he's doing everything right, and nothing's going to get changed. It wasn't until Mr. Fisher mentioned some of the things that these new proposed extraction plants are doing. It's what's happening on Hogan Road for the last 10 years. So it makes you a little bit thinking, hey, something's going to happen. The road is overloaded with people driving from the modular home park, and also, there's 400 and some odd houses going out of there every morning. And I know that they made them pave or drive to their doorstep, but they don't use it. And the gravel trains, even in the cold season, it was 22 degrees last week, 60 trucks came down that road on Wednesday. And so Mr. Fisher was saying, that, yeah, you got some time to work on this, 60 trucks a day in the cold season. So those trucks are all getting dispatched from a mass producer, and they're picking up gravel, and they don't care how they get it. So, it's 7 o'clock in the morning till 4 every day. So it'd be nice to be informed of what you're going to argue about before you actually get there. And Mr. Fisher said that consent agreement was as much Tyrone Township's deal, the gravel plant, and the road commission. So equally, the three people need to decide what to do on that road. Thanks.
Well, when I have that meeting with those guys tomorrow, I'll talk to them about.
Yeah, the deputy clerk at Deerfield Township, I asked for those, she's handed them right over, there was nothing.
Deerfield. All right, I'll thank you for the info.
Would it be possible, I just have a quick question, Greg. Would it be possible, since you, Halina Morsey Hogan Road, would it be possible to come to this meeting
No.
tomorrow?
No.
It's just between you and,
It's preliminary, no.
okay, thank you.
Yes, Stephanie?
Stephanie Booth, longtime Livingston County resident. Okay, here's another thing. Chris here just said that, or I shouldn't maybe address by name, but what did he just say? Isn't that a violation of HIPAA law if he's like telling the insurance company or wanting to know how much of the money went to elective abortions? And is that his business on this supposedly nonpartisan board to be partisan in that manner? It's appalling to me that he would do that. Acrisure is an insurance company, to my knowledge, and aren't they required under laws by HIPAA not to reveal those things? How inappropriate that he even asked that. Yeah, I think that's it. I mean, the hits keep coming. Keep them up.
Jeanette?
Jeanette McCutcheon, Tyrone Township. I'll just say that I don't believe it's against HIPAA laws to ask what an insurance company covers, but it is an insurance company that believes in killing babies. So there you go. Okay, my comment tonight is about a memo that was written by Foster Swift, who is a law firm that represents Tyrone Township for renewable energy issues. There are 2 new House bills being introduced, and they will help to restore local control of zoning in Michigan. I hope the board knows about this. Why are these new bills needed? Because last November, PA 233 became law, which strips townships of their authority for projects like solar, wind, and battery storage. And Lansing claims we still have control, but only if our ordinances agree with their demands. So that's not choice, that's dictatorship. Also, you may be aware that President Trump is doing all he can to stop the renewable energy scam, but Michigan is not out of danger yet. One reason being Jennifer Granholm, the outgoing energy secretary, just gifted Michigan $14 billion to further develop green energy products, and she did this on her way out of office. In this memo, Foster Swift, you'll see a quote from a Michigan Township supervisor. So that's an important example to all officials to speak up about this issue. Now, if some of you feel this subject is too political to get involved in, let me remind you, you hold a political office position. You were elected to protect and represent the people. You should also know that more than 80% of Michigan residents from all political parties want our local governments to have zoning control. And this is a nonpartisan issue. There's 3 things I'd like to ask the board. The first one to Greg. Greg, I'd like you to make, I would hope that you would make a public statement as the supervisor to support these 2 new bills, and also from the whole board, a commitment from the township to communicate to the residents regarding these new bills. This would be the exact opposite of what we did with PA 233. The board didn't do anything regarding that. And then number 3, create a resident committee to lead an awareness campaign to include emailing and calling our legislators and basically community awareness. Now, the resident committee is long overdue, and this issue, I believe, would be a perfect opportunity to demonstrate how a committee like this could work with board oversight. I do have a question to ask all of you. I know the law says you don't have to answer me, right? But the law doesn't say that you can't answer me, okay? Will you commit to keeping residents, I'm sure you guys know about this because it's a huge deal, but will you commit to keeping residents updated on these House bills? Will you write your own letters and personally contact legislators on this subject, thereby representing yourselves as both residents and as township representatives? And will you work towards creating a resident committee with board oversight? Would anyone like to commit to that?
I will.
May I ask you a question? Can I reach out to you and we can discuss that in more detail?
I will send this whole thing to the whole board. I just really would hope that the board will get behind these 2 particular.
I would just like to talk to you a little bit more detail about that.
Sure, okay. So for those of you that weren't able to speak up, again, the law doesn't say that you can't say that you would support your community and support what's right. I hope you'll change your minds. Thank you.
Are there any other public comment? All right. I guess I'm looking for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in
Support.
favor?
Hi.
Aye.
Opposed? All right,
I know.
thank you.
I've heard I have the same thing on mine. You did good. I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did. Just had an easier year. You did good. Mr. Carnes, you're supposed to say thank you.
I'm like in shock.
Just using
Hi.
to explain
Uh,
why the way.
Thank you.
You did well.
That's all that is. Just
I would think what's this, the fifth? What's the fifth?
No, you're still gonna have some time. But you pushed through, and that's what matters. You gotta support us.
Thank you too.
You're welcome.
Thank you too for dropping me out.
That's a part of it.
Thanks for
That's
dropping me
a,
out.
yeah, that's a part of it.
Hi, Davey. How are you? I'm doing all right, buddy. How about you?
Listen, I had run into Christie and
Christy is who we're meeting with tomorrow.
Thank you, Scott.
Christy and Teresa both coming. Look who's here. Yeah.
Well, it's an
anyhow,
important to know.
I had a little bit talking to her, and she said, see the meeting.
Well,
So that's why I want to.
oh, yeah, well, initially we were gonna do that, but, she had some. She put, so, we went to the meeting, we're gonna do the meeting tomorrow, and go through the emergency plan.